Warning. The views expressed on this program are solely those of the individuals involved in the discussion and for entertainment purposes only. They do not reflect the views of Bad Bob Productions, its affiliates, or partners, and should not be considered endorsements or legal advice of any kind. This program is not intended for children under the age of 13. Parental discretion is advised.
Now, it's time to burn, burn, burn!
Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, it's the Bad Bob Wake Up Saturday morning show. How's everybody doing out there? Plus, we got our special, wonderful, fabulous guest that's always with us every single day. Base God 14. What's up, Big Daddy?
Guest. I am your producer. I'm not your guest.
Hey, best friend. Hey, it don't matter how you say it. It's how you feel it.
There you go.
What's up, Big Daddy?
Well, it is a pleasure to be here on Bad Bob Saturday Morning Hangover. I just want to, right off the bat, we've got an exciting college game going on right now.
Yes.
We've got Ohio State and Michigan. This is the big game, I think, for today. It's obviously rivalry weekend. There was a lot of good football yesterday, including Arizona ASU. Arizona beat ASU yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State has they got first blood. It's 7-0 against Michigan right now as we're speaking.
Yeah. It's all you football players out there that love it. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Hey, so how many more games is everybody playing here before the end of the season? How many you got?
This is it, I think. These are the last games of the regular season. Then it's going to go to the conference championships and the bowls. So and ultimately the playoffs. So
crazy.
Yep. This is the last of the regular season for college football. Did you freeze there?
I don't know what happened here, but that was interesting.
Oh, okay. I think we had a little hiccup, little technical difficulty.
Let's jump in over to some crazy stuff that's happening right now. It looks like good old Abe from Arizona. Looks like he ain't putting up with no crap with, we'll just say, the other half that's trying to make things a little difficult out there. What's the news on that? Eric?
Well, he has decided to do a lawsuit. So let me bring up the article that I have ready to go here.
Yeah, I heard he's taking him on.
What's that?
I heard he's taking him on. He wants it.
He is taking him on. Can you see the article from KTR News?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this article from KTR News. It's dated November 23rd, so about 3 days ago as of the broadcast. Today's broadcast is on November 26th for our podcast listeners. So the title of the article reads, Arizona AG Republican candidate Hamadeh files lawsuit over election results. Republican candidate for Arizona Attorney General Abe Hamadeh filed a lawsuit Tuesday over the outcome of the 2022 elections. Hamadeh, along with the Republican National Committee, filed a 25-page complaint naming all county recorders and boards of supervisors in the state. The complaint alleges errors in the November 8th general election, citing election board misconduct, the tallying of unlawful ballots, and inaccurate counting of votes. Quote, the voters of Arizona demand answers and deserve transparency about the gross incompetence and mismanagement of the general election by certain election officials, Hamadeh said in a press release. Pervasive errors by our election officials resulted in the disenfranchisement of countless Arizonans who had their voices silenced. Arizonans deserve to have an election system that is transparent and fair, and right now we have neither. His Democratic opponent, Chris Mays, and Secretary of State Katie Hobbs were also named in the suit. You can actually see this is they've got a screen capture of his Twitter account, and you can actually see the complaint. And if you look at the complaint, he actually names his opponent specifically. He names Katie Hobbs specifically, and all the county recorders, all the board of supervisors, and the entire state essentially. Wow. In a statement sent by Hamadeh's campaign office, the incorrect vote counts were due to a lack of poll worker training in Maricopa County and or misleading comments from Supervisor Bill Gates on the steps for checking voters out of polling places after ballot reader malfunctions. The lawsuit comes after 2 Republican-controlled counties delayed certifying the results of the election. Mojave County voted Monday to delay certifying the results as a protest against the voting issues in the state's largest county, which had problems at about 40% of its vote centers on Election Day. Republican leaders of Cochise County also delayed their election canvass last week and said they would not sign off unless they got proof their vote counting machines are certified. Says the race for Attorney General will head into an automatic full recount. Hamadeh and Mays finished separated by 510 votes. State certification is scheduled for December 5th. Once that is done, the recount will follow. So the recount will actually happen after the certification, which is kind of interesting, but I guess that's just the way we do things here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it looks like a lot of stuff's happening Monday, right?
Yeah.
Monday? Yeah. Wow. I think the American people are awake now. I think they can kind of see what's going on now. It's not good. It's just ain't good, man. And of course, Arizona's in the spotlight. We're the center of the disaster of voting right now, and other things.
Well, I do want to mention because I had to do the show solo, and I didn't get your reaction to this because obviously you weren't on the show last week. But
yeah,
one of the things that I brought up was how long it took California to call some of their races. That's and right. As much as we're Arizona's quote unquote laughing stock, like you said, California did a far worse job. But and the thing is, the California races were relevant to the House flip. And one of the things that I wonder, and I kind of want your reaction to this, is I feel like what they did was there was a deliberate delay where they didn't want to be the district that flipped the House. And of course they wanted to keep this narrative, oh no, red wave, Republicans underperformed, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that was done deliberately to basically demoralize Republicans. And I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think so too. There's nothing like they didn't want to be embarrassed. They're letting Arizona take the heat for everything, while they're sitting back eating ice cream and cake at the same time. So they are. I know they are, and it's a good point because, they're if hell, I think they still are counting. They just haven't told anybody over there, but that's for real. They're still counting. Over here, they knew about it. They just held it back. Over there, they held it back because they didn't want to be embarrassed. But they're still counting over there too because they're a bunch of. We'll just leave it like that. But I'll tell you this right now.
Well, I'm looking at the AP map right now, and there is still at least 1 or 2 districts in California that haven't been called.
That's what I mean. Oh yeah.
I'm looking at specifically. It's California District 13. John Duarte. He is actually leading. Okay. And they showed 99% of the vote, but it's super, super close. John Duarte is ahead of Adam Gray, the Democrat. He's ahead only by a couple hundred votes. He's got 66,808 votes to Adam Gray's 66,215 votes. But it does say 99% reporting. So, I mean, that's good. I guess they just I'm guessing that's going to an automatic recount. That would be my guess. You know what I mean? Because that's really close.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Not just that too, and I've talked to you about Mike Lindell before.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you right now, he has the numbers. Matter of fact, I'm trying to reach out to him, see if we can get him on our show. He has the numbers. He has the people that were sitting back while voting was live in California. Not virtually, not all the states, but I definitely the swing states, and then some. He had some special ops sitting back, recording the whole thing, and he was talking about Kerry Lakes. He said. Kerry Lake, matter of fact, I looked at the charts and looked at the spikes that were electronically put in. When she spiked 100,000, they would spike 120. And she spiked another 50, they spiked another 60. I mean, just straight up. She wasn't spiking. Her line was going up nice and slow, like it's supposed to. And then right along her line, a spike would go up. So that's exactly how it looks. So it shows the line going up nice and slow. And then the other line is right next to it, and then starts dropping. And then all of a sudden it just shoots straight up. And then she catches up to it up here at the top. And then they do it again. I watched it live right in front of my eyes. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And I thought to myself, who has the balls to sit there and do that? And they got caught. It was right in your face, cheating. And that was just that part of it. That wasn't, they were also showing, there's two other people that were arrested during all this. And they were let out of jail right after it was all over. And of course it was a big mistake, and it was,
who was arrested? Who was arrested?
I'll get their names for you. And but anyways, that's just some of the other stuff that's coming on our show, by the way, because I'm reaching out, trying to get some of those people to go live with us to really give us and let everybody know what's really going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. It's kind of like CBS. I think CBS just jumped on. I think NBC's right behind them with Joe Biden's son and the laptop. They're 2 years behind, but they're finally jumping on board now. Now it's on the news. CBS is, we got a report that they have a laptop that's incriminating towards Hunter Biden. And everybody, even Fox is making fun of them. Fox News, and even Fox News they got their issues too. But
I'm telling you, I put Fox News in the same category as all the other mainstream media. I think it's a farce. I mean, and one of the reasons, and I was talking about it last week, one of the reasons is because if you watch the coverage the day after the election, which I did, I think I told you I went to the gym, the day after the election, and they have cable at my gym, right? And I checked Fox News, and the first thing they were saying was no red wave. Yeah. No red wave. That was the big ticker. You know what I mean? Was no red wave. Because they're trying to demoralize the Republican Party. And that's Fox News, folks. Fox News was trying to demoralize the Republican Party. This idea, actually somebody responded on our Twitter account. And because I was making a point of this, I tweet quite a bit on our account. Yeah. And I was making this point about, hey, the red wave happened. I've got the video out. You know, I did a clip from the previous show where I talk about the red wave did happen. Mike Garcia, you know, he's the one that now, you know, is said to have flipped the House. It did happen. But he's like, oh, no. You can't have a red wave unless the Republicans have flipped at least 40 seats. 40 seats? Are you out of your freaking mind? You know, what planet do you live on? 40 seats? 40 seats? Really? Okay. I realize our poll numbers are screwed up, right? Our poll numbers are always screwed up, right? And so there were these crazy polls that were out there that were saying that Republicans could do something like that, okay?
Right.
But we know these poll numbers are manipulated for one thing, okay? They are. And even under the best of intentions, polls are still inaccurate. Even if you don't have bad intentions, polls can still be inaccurate because people can always vote a different way. That's right. They don't have to tell the pollster what they're really going to do, you know?
Yeah.
But my point is like, it doesn't matter how many seats the Republicans got. The fact of the matter is they flipped the House. This is something that should be celebrated because Pelosi is no longer going to be Speaker of the House. That was the goal. That's the way to slow down and stop Biden's agenda, right?
That's right.
We won. But Republicans are acting like they lost.
Yeah. I know.
And there's a very deliberate media narrative to tell Republicans they lost when they won.
That's right. That's right. They got some crap coming. Matter of fact, if you want to kind of switch that over into another segment here, you also have the Trump transition.
Speaker Trump.
Speaker Trump. Okay. I mean, and this is what some people were just talking about this. And it's really cool. It can actually happen, but nobody knows if it's going to happen or not. But if it did, it would be really cool. So basically, in a nutshell, what it is the Speaker of the House is just somebody that's assigned to that position, basically voted in. That's all it is, and it can be anybody. It could be your brother, your sister, a dog, cat, horse. It could be anybody. And that's the best part about it. And so what they're thinking, and they're third in line or second in line to the presidency of the United States of America. So what they're thinking is, okay, since Trump is out, they screwed him out of his second term. So let's put him in the House Speaker position, slide him in. Then the House turns around and gets rid of Biden and the other person that's been hanging out with him for a while. I don't even know what her name is anymore.
Harris? Vice
yeah,
President Harris?
Yeah, whatever. I don't even see her anymore. I almost forgot who she was.
I think a lot of people want to forget who she is.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? She might be a nice person, but...
You know what I saw? Speaking of Harris for a second.
Uh-huh.
There was actually, I can't remember what news organization did it, but there was an op-ed piece about a week ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting where they were talking about what Biden should do is dump Harris in the next election. And he should get Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, as his running mate and then resign immediately. Yep. Have you heard that one?
Yep.
Have you heard that plan? So that apparently is a plan right now because they know Harris is a disaster. She's an idiot.
That's why
she's a disaster. Harris
ago.
is an absolute disaster. Okay, but Gavin Newsom is really popular in California, right? I mean, he won in a landslide in California. California is solidly blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's popular. Yeah, he's popular. Yeah.
So the idea was that they want him to run as Biden's vice president, and then they just want Biden to go away. They want him to resign day one, and then Newsom as president. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, that's they'll do anything to win now. And they've already cheated right in front of our faces now. And they don't care. And so that doesn't even surprise me. They'll attempt that. If that works for them, good. But nobody.
But the thing is, they know Biden's they know Biden's just a puppet too. They know that. I mean, I think that's one of the things that's why I say it is important to look at the mainstream media, because even when they're lying to your face, there are certain truths that will come out of their propaganda. And that's why you have to be aware of this stuff, because obviously if for this guy to be advocating for Biden to resign, he knows Biden's a puppet. You know what I mean? He knows Biden's not really in control, because Biden, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Check this out. Did you know? Not, I can't say this, but it's kind of interesting. I can't say the name or the names, plural. I can't say it. That some of these news organizations that you see on TV that are really big, that everybody thinks, hey, I love this station, whatever station you watch, right? And there's several of them that they only have, each one of them, only a couple thousand people that watch them. Did you know that? I just found this out. So remember the Twitter big thing with the bots, BOTs, right? How they made you feel that everybody there was millions and millions and millions of people, hundreds of millions watching on Twitter at one point. No, it wasn't true at all. And now that I found out that some of these news organizations that not me personally, but we all know who they are if you saw them. They only have a couple thousand people that watch them every night. That's it. I was thought to myself, well, hell, might as well just go down and interview for a job and jack it up for a while and make some good money for a bit, and then have them throw me out. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, look at these guys. I didn't know that. And so, getting back to the point of Trump. So, and that was some pretty interesting stuff you had to say there. So they put Trump in the speaker's position. They turn around, they get rid of Biden and what's her name? He becomes president. They vote him in right away. So he spends the next 2 years as president. Then he runs as president again for his last term. And that's it. Then we got him for 7 more years or 6 years. And it's a possibility. I mean, it can happen. A lot of people were thinking about it. I don't think unless he's convinced, how hard it is to convince Trump. He's alpha A. I mean, you just can't, whatever he wants to do is what he wants to do. And so he doesn't usually have other people do it for him, unless it sounds really cool. And then he pushes you out of the way and says, I did it. And then he goes in and does it. That's just the way he is, which is fine with me. But anyways,
I know at least officially he's supporting McCarthy right now. So I do have an article about the dissension in the ranks right now, because it is kind of interesting what's going on as far as like not all Republicans are on board with what's happening right now, especially with the speaker election coming up, which the official election won't be until January 3rd. But I got this Forbes article. You able to see it?
It's not up yet, but yeah, there it is.
Okay, so I've got this article here. Now let me put us. There we go. So says here are the Republicans opposing McCarthy's bid for House Speaker and what it means for the next Congress. This is a Forbes article. It says Representative Ralph Norman, Republican from South Carolina, said he will not vote for Representative Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. making him at least the 5th member to indicate opposition to McCarthy's speakership bid. This is an older article, by the way. They already had their nomination vote. As the House prepares to select its next leader on January 3rd, when the new Republican majority takes office. That's when the official election will happen. But the Republicans did already vote as far as their candidate for Speaker of the House. Norman said Tuesday he was a hard no when it comes to voting for McCarthy, joining other House Freedom Caucus members who have come out against McCarthy as the right-wing faction seeks to negotiate demands in exchange for votes. Norman reportedly said he decided not to vote for McCarthy this week after McCarthy said he disagreed with the Republican Study Committee's plans for curbing the national debt, which includes raising the minimum retirement age and allowing Medicare recipients to receive subsidies they can use to buy private insurance. Norman joins Republican Representative Andy Biggs, who is, of course, from Arizona, who is running against McCarthy for the speakership, and Representative Matt Gaetz in pledging to vote against McCarthy, while Representatives Matt Rosendale and Bob Good have publicly doubted McCarthy's ability to lead the Republican conference. Representative Chip Roy of Texas, who joined Norman in nominating Biggs to challenge McCarthy, has also expressed skepticism about McCarthy's ability to secure the 218 votes needed to win the speakership. Yeah. McCarthy has worked his way up the ranks of the Republican conference throughout his 16 years in office and has been eyeing the speakership since at least 2015, when he abruptly dropped out of the race, fearing the lack of support among far-right members. This time around, McCarthy's speaker bid has been threatened by the GOP's underperformance in the midterm election. Republicans are expected to hold 222 seats once the remaining 3 midterm races are finalized. The slim majority created an opening for Biggs to wage a last-minute challenge against McCarthy and a platform from the House Freedom Contest to elevate its demands in exchange for votes. So this is what's going on. Is basically you have the Freedom Caucus is not happy with McCarthy. Andy Biggs did run against him for the nomination, which I didn't realize they did this. This is kind of news to me. So they already had a nomination vote. The Republicans in the House already voted who their nominee was going to be, even though the new Congress hasn't come in yet. Which I don't understand that. That to me is like that's really screwed up, you know.
That's politics. That's politics. That's because
they should be. I realize that, you know, they're going to vote on January 3rd when the new Congress comes in, right?
Yeah.
But they could easily reach out to these people that haven't been sworn in yet, and they could ask them, "Hey, who do you want to vote for?" Right?
Yeah.
You know, they could do that. But they're not doing that. Instead, they're voting. They already voted with whoever they got. Remember, we've got a couple races that haven't been called yet. Right. There's a couple races that have not been called yet. So it's like, why are they voting when we don't have the new Congress in yet? That's my thing. That to me is corruption. That to me is just like, and they may have always done it that way, but it's just corruption. You know what I mean? We got to stop like stuff like that. You know.
Well, yeah, that's the old dogs. That's the old dogs in the background running shit. I mean, come on. You know, everybody knows that. You know, the old dogs are voting into what they want before the new dogs come in. And then the old dogs are going to tell the new dogs what to do. And that's, you know, get in line. That's just the way it is. And that's the crap it needs to stop.
Yeah.
That's the crap it needs to stop. I'm telling you right now, we talked about this before. Don't make me run for a position. Don't make me run for something. I will embarrass everybody because I don't even care. I don't give a shit. You can't piss me off. You can try. You can say bad words to me. It might hurt my feelings, but maybe, who knows? You know, McCarthy, let me tell you something about McCarthy. He's sneaky, okay? And I don't like the way he talks, to be honest with you. If you want to judge somebody, I'm going to judge somebody right now, okay? I don't like his soft talk when he talks about politics and how it should be with this. and how it should be with that. And when I'm and I'm going to do this and this, and there was just come on, give me a break, man. You got to stand up there. You got to say it the way it is. Okay. I mean, at least Nancy Pelosi, when she was up there, when she was lying through her teeth, at least she was well, she's a female dog doing her thing. Okay. And they were stuck to each other. Like even Trump said it. There's one thing Democrats do is they back each other up.
That's true.
Okay.
And the other thing is when they have power, they use it. Whereas
That's
Republicans always seem like they're scared. They're like scared to do anything to actually advance their agenda. They're always running scared. They're always running scared.
That's the pussies. And those guys need to go.
Well, speaking of that, I do want to mention McConnell real quick too, because even though we're talking about the House, I do think it's important to remember that, you know, we do have the Senate, and I honestly believe very strongly that this man is responsible for the Republicans not taking the Senate. I think he's very much responsible for that. So we got this is an NPR article from November 16th. So it's an older article, but it says McConnell wins leadership race, but GOP infighting continues. So this is already a done deal. It's been a done deal for a while. It says Kentucky Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, already the longest serving GOP leader in Senate history, will extend that run for at least another 2 years after winning against a long shot challenge by Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott to remove him from power.
Yeah.
I like Rick Scott, by the way. 37 senators voted for McConnell. Scott picked up 10 votes, and one senator voted present in a secret ballot election, according to Indiana Senator Mike Braun, who was one of the senators who counted the final votes. That's the other thing, is why is it in secret? I want to know who voted for who. I want to know.
Yeah, why do they? Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. It
says, this is a quote it says, "I don't own this job. Anyone that wants to run for it can feel free to do so," McConnell said, adding that he is proud of his vote count. Speaking to reporters in the U.S. Capitol following his win, he said he doesn't plan to go anywhere. Bad news for America. Scott finally launched his bid a day earlier and placed the electoral blame of not gaining enough seats to control the Senate on McConnell, even though Scott ran the GOP's 2022 Senate campaign operation. There's been bad blood between the two senators for some time as they tussle throughout the campaign cycle over candidate recruitment in key races and party messaging. I love this little spin by this article, by the way. So it says Scott blamed McConnell. Okay. Then they say, but Scott was the one who ran the GOP's Senate campaign. Okay. Doesn't that mean Scott knows what the problem was?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have it both ways, can you? But they're going to have it both ways. Scott is the one who ran the elections for the GOP for the Senate. He's saying McConnell is the person to blame. Is it that hard to understand that? He's the guy who ran it, and he's saying McConnell was the one that screwed this all up. You know what I mean?
Getting back to that same crap, Eric, that's just the way it is. This is the crap that everybody's tired of. They just want to get rid of this. This is an infection that's just massicized over everybody, is just eating Americans for breakfast every single day. They don't care. And that guy needs to go. He needs to go right now.
I don't understand why. This is, by the way, this isn't just like the Senate. This just isn't politics. This happens happens at every level of government. It happens in big companies. Why do people always fail upwards?
That's right.
Why did the elites always fail upwards? They lost, right? We didn't get the Senate. All right. McCarthy, you could at least say, hey, they got the House. He did the job. Okay. He did the job. McConnell, no. We may lose a seat. The Republicans may lose a seat in this, depending how this runoff goes in Georgia, right? But this guy gets rewarded, right, and he's still he's still the minority leader. How does that make any sense? Why wouldn't you get rid of that guy? He lost.
Yeah, but the
get rid of him.
The rewards of the company outweigh that. So
I just don't, and I want to know
Yeah.
I want to know who those 10 senators that voted against him, because I want to give them money. I want to support them. You know what I mean? I don't care if they're the scum of the earth. I'll give them money for voting against this guy. You know what I mean? I want to know who voted against him, and I want to know who voted for him, because those people will never get a dime from me. Never. You know what I mean?
They're gonna let you know you're a scumbag.
So
You're a scumbag.
yeah.
Well, why would they tell you? You don't mean nothing, unless you were somebody important that had their job in your hand. You ain't nobody. Either am I. At least for right now, we ain't. One day we will. I guarantee it. They will learn, and they will lose. But that's a good way of saying it, because that goes, and me and you, we're in law enforcement for a long time. And let me tell you something, even the scumbags that either were in trouble or they were rats. Okay, we'll just call them for right now. They got promoted. They're the ones that are lieutenants and captains and chiefs now, that are running shifts and beating up on everybody, and it just happens. I'm telling you.
Well, I can give you a concrete example where I live in Scottsdale. We had riots in Scottsdale, which I still think is amazing to say that. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was a complete 100% intelligence failure. Okay. These guys were posting on Facebook, and Scottsdale PD didn't even know this was happening. Okay. And so they were scrambling, right? Scrambling. Nothing happened to the chief. In fact, that chief, he walked with BLM, with Black Lives Matter, in their little parade. He walked with them, okay? And no consequence. He resigned. Nobody forced him out. He resigned, and he got hired by some big company for some sort of consulting work. Again, he failed upwards. He was just like, you know what? There's too much heat in Scottsdale. I'm just going to go to this national company and be a consultant and make bank, and I'm fine. You know what I mean? Even though he allowed this thing to happen in Scottsdale, and then the prosecutions didn't happen either. I mean, it was just a big mess, and he just walked away and was like, you know what? I'm in the elite crew. I don't have to care about this crap. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go national. Screw you guys.
BLM.
They always seem to fail upwards, and it just pisses me off that these elites will do that. They will cover each other. You know what I mean? Even when they screw up, and they screw up bad.
That's right. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I'm with you. I already know. I see it all the time. Real quick, we're gonna jump off the subject for a sec. Just to let you know, it's the Surf Report, baby. Surf Report, 2 to 3 footers, El Porto right now, Manhattan, okay, Huntington Beach. It's not huge, but it's a good longboard surf. So, a little bit of body surfing, little cruise, take kids out. It's good surf. The kids, dogs can play in the water. Just want to give you a heads up out there. Just kind of break it up a little bit. Politics gets a little hot sometimes, so we gotta watch.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, there is some other people we're gonna get on the show too. We're actually we got CanCon. We got shoot, I'll get their names here in a second.
Well, actually, I didn't. Yeah. It's a good reminder, because I keep forgetting to tell you. I did reach out to somebody about possibly being on the show in the future, so I want you to check out his channel. So when we're off the air, I'll send you the link to his channel. Okay. You can check him out.
Okay.
Because I was reaching out to him.
We're gonna get some people on the show. We're gonna let them know all about it, and because we got some pretty cool stuff that we talk about, and then I know a lot of you guys out there in Bedland, because I know you're all laying down drinking all night long. I know you are, because God knows we've been there too ourselves. So
Hey, that's why this is the Saturday morning hangover show, man.
That's right. If you guys want to talk about anything, I don't care what it is, just give us a message out. We'll shoot you out. We'll put you on the show if you want. It all depends how you want to look at it. So, anyways, let's jump over to let's talk about Disney. What the hell is going on over there?
Yeah, this has been big news. This has been big news for the last week because I think it was on Monday that they had the leadership change over there. So I've got an article here.
Snow White isn't running the show no more, or what? What's going on over there?
Well, this is from wdwmagic.com. This is an actual Walt Disney Company like blogging site. So these guys do nothing but like Walt Disney stuff. And it says this is 4 hours ago. So this is sort of like hot off the presses. You see the article, okay?
Yeah.
So it says another top Disney executive loyal to Bob Chapek departs the company. So it looks like it's starting to turn into a bloodbath over there. It says, according to a report from Puck News via Variety, Arthur Buchner, Chapek's chief of staff, is the next top-level Disney executive to leave the company following Chapek's dismissal. Buchner, vice president strategic communications at the Walt Disney Company, was Chapek's speechwriter and was behind much of the messaging that came from Chapek during his time as CEO at Disney. Given the close connection to Chapek and the board's apparent disbelief at Chapek's recent Q3 earnings call performance, which Buchner was part of, his departure does not come as a surprise. Buchner is the second top executive to leave Disney since the arrival of Bob Iger as CEO. Karine Daniel, a close ally of Chapek and chairman of Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution, was the first to go. Chapek departed Disney in a surprise announcement late last Sunday, with former CEO Bob Iger returning to the company on a 2-year contract. So this is the big thing. So the bloodbath is starting. Iger is obviously in. Chapek is out. And for people that don't know, Iger was the previous CEO of Disney, and Chapek was his successor, his hand-picked successor. So this is a situation where the old boss doesn't like what the new boss is doing, and he had a coup. He got the board of directors, and they fired Chapek, and now Iger is back in.
Which one's the woke one?
Well, that's a matter of I don't know. That's a matter of perspective. I think they're both woke, to be honest with you. But one of the things that got Chapek in trouble was because a lot of the board was angry at Chapek because they said he should have taken a more hardline stance against Florida. It's like they call it what's it called? The don't say gay bill is what people call it or whatever. I don't know a lot about it, to be honest with you. All I know is that Chapek initially said, hey, let's not get political here. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? Florida's going to do what they're going to do. And I'm not going to get into it. Eventually he did get into it and said it was bad. So he reversed course. My understanding was a lot of the people on the board were angry at him because they felt like he needs to, step up and, support the LGBTQ community and all that kind of stuff. So that was one of the major reasons that Chapek is out. I've read some other articles about that. Iger was not pleased with this. The board was not pleased with this because they felt like Chapek should have taken a harder line against DeSantis, basically. That's what they wanted to see. And Iger is willing to do that. Iger has ambitions to be president. Iger has absolute ambitions to be president. So who knows what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? This is the guy, by the way, that stabbed George Lucas in the back. He told George Lucas right to his face that he was going to use George Lucas's story for the new Star Wars films. And then he just said, screw that. And he got J.J. Abrams to do everything. So he lied to Lucas right to his face when he bought Star Wars and Lucasfilm. So I don't have any respect for this guy personally. I mean, he's very successful. I'm not going to say he's not successful, but I am not an Iger fan. I think he is. He is definitely has an agenda. If you know what I mean, he has an agenda, and I personally don't think it's going to be good for people like myself. But I don't know what your thoughts are about it, Rob.
You know what? I don't know a lot about that story, but it is pretty interesting. That's why I was asking you what woke side he was on. All I know is that it's all about the kids, man. It has nothing to do with all this other crap that's going on. Gay or whatever the hell you want to call yourself. That's fine. You can be straight. It don't matter. People are people. You're going to the park to go get out some rides and go in circles and sing yeehaw and some throw up, and because it's too crazy. It's just the way it is. Too much lemonade and cake and ice cream. The kids are having a good time. It's just the way it is. But all this other crap with these two guys fighting like that, and then the Star Wars thing, that's all that power shit, power money, sucking it off the public. The public's supporting all these guys, and but the attitude that you're talking about in that article, that's crazy. That's just
what I think is crazy is how disloyal Iger is, because Iger he supported Chapek, right, initially as CEO, as his successor, and then to stab him in the back like this, you know what I mean, and then gut all of the Chapek loyalists. I mean, this is just like, it's just like politics, right? I mean, it's the same kind of thing. These guys, they're scum. You know what I mean? These guys, they will take you out. They will look at you at the face like I'm your best friend, man. I support you, and just stab you in the back. You know what I mean? Just the first second they get, the first chance they get, they're gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. It's that money power trip bullshit. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Iger has presidential ambitions, and he is going to be out there. A lot of people know who he is, Rob. A lot of people know who Iger is. He wrote a book too, and that's why I know about the thing with George Lucas, because he admitted it in the book. He admitted in the book that he met with George Lucas in person, right, to make this deal to buy Lucasfilm, which also has Star Wars. Yeah. And he told George Lucas basically, "Hey, yeah, we'll use your story," because George Lucas had a story already. He's like, "We'll use your story, but I want to buy it first, And he's like, "Okay, let's do it," because it was $4 billion, right? I mean, big amount of money. And George Lucas was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then as soon as Iger had control, he's like, "You're out, old man. You're out. Screw you, man. Screw you." And then he got J.J. Abrams, who I think is one of the biggest hacks in Hollywood, to do Star Wars. I don't like the new Star Wars films. So just to be clear, the only new Star Wars film I like is Rogue One. I liked Rogue One, but I didn't like any of the other ones. Any of the we call them Disney Wars. That's what I call them. I liked Rogue One. I actually really liked Rogue One, but all the other movies I thought were terrible. And I'm not a big fan of J.J. Abrams. I'm just not. So I think J.J. Abrams is one of those guys that basically just steals from other creators. I don't think he's capable of creating anything on his own, Yeah. So, but anyway, that's. I just think it's just funny. I mean, it's funny in the sad way. It's just like these guys, the way that they treat each other and the disloyalty that they have to each other. You know what I mean? And it's like you got to be wondering. Iger's got a 2-year contract. He's already retired, right? He already left. He retired. He's got a 2-year contract. You got to be wondering, whoever is vying for that position when he leaves has got to realize that they've got a big old target on their back. Because would you want to take over Disney after this? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, after what happened, I mean, I'm like, yeah.
If you did, you'd have to have your own philosophy after that for sure.
You'd have to wipe out the board. You'd have to wipe out the board. You have to get rid of all the top executives. I mean, you'd have to have a major bloodbath at this point, because Otherwise, I would have no confidence, right? I'd have no confidence because Iger's just going to come back again when he doesn't like what I'm doing, right? The second that Iger doesn't like what I'm doing, he's just going to come back. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? This guy just keeps coming back. You know what I mean? It's just like,
wow. Yeah, I don't know a lot about what's going on there, but I mean, I am getting educated now. That is, it's just not good. I mean, and that's, um, you're right. It's exactly like politics. It's exactly the same way. And when these guys are damn near tycoons,
yeah.
multi-billionaires, fighting like little cats and dogs and stealing and backstabbing. And, before you know it, they're going to run themselves out of business and nobody's going to be going to Disneyland and the kids are going to be pissed off. And I wouldn't piss the kids off. I'll tell you that. There'd be a lot of shitty.
I will say this: the one thing I've heard, I guess, on the positive side is one thing that Iger was also upset with Chapek about was the rising cost of the theme parks, which is interesting because Chapek actually comes from the theme parks. That's what Chapek did before he was CEO. He was a theme park guy. Okay, Iger his biggest ambition has been Disney Plus. Streaming. That's really what Iger's got a big legacy because he got Lucasfilm, he got Marvel. He's the one who did that, and he's the one who started Disney Plus. But Chapek actually came from the theme park side, and Chapek increased the prices, because attendance has been down, COVID, all that kind of stuff. He increased the prices, and Iger wasn't happy about that. So I guess the one good thing, if you're going to look at this, is maybe the theme parks are going to actually reduce their prices. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of prices, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
There we go. Nice transition there. I like it.
Yeah, because, Thanksgiving, let me tell you something. Oh my God, you might as well just took a vacuum, put it on full blast, and just sucked every dollar out of my pocket because what disgusting. All those turkeys and those hams are sitting there waiting for everybody. It was beautiful. You walk along the aisle, you got your basket, and you think to yourself, maybe give me a 15 or a 20-pound turkey. Feed a family of 4. It's going to be wonderful. Can't wait to carve it up, after it comes out of the oven. And then when it's all said and eat your dessert and all your good stuff and your yams and all, if you like all that stuff, and blah blah blah, right?
Blah blah blah,
blah blah blah. Okay, and then you go buy it, and you're pushing that cart, and you look down, the turkey's like $40 for a
wow, $40 for a turkey.
Yeah, that's after tax. So it's like 35 something. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't remember paying $35 for a turkey. And all of a sudden I realize I'm in the cheap aisle. Down at the end is the good stuff, is the good turkeys with the big name on it that everybody knows. And you look at those turkeys and they're $5-6 more.
Yeah.
Before tax.
Wow.
And that's just the turkeys. And they're not even big turkeys. They're like 14, 13-pound turkeys. Then you move down towards the end. And just so you know, these are brought to you by truckers that are starving to death for diesel fuel and paying up the ass for it to get it to the American people. So now you get your cart, you move down to the end, you're disgusted. You saw the prices on the turkey, and you're like, there got to be some cheaper ones somewhere, right? So you're moving down, and then you get down to the ham section, right? So how do you like your ham? Do you like it spiral cut? It's already had the spirals cut in it. All you gotta do is put it in the oven, and cut it on the side, and it all falls apart. And it's wonderful, right? Well, as me, was walking down the aisle, I was with my wife, and I'm walking down And I'm like, oh my God, look at the ham. I mean, the hams are like, if you see my hand, they're like, just, put it in the palm of my two hands, the ass end of the ham, right? And
Yeah.
it's only, the ham's only about, it's only so big. Oh my God, the ham is more than damn turkey is. And I'm like, wait a minute. And, and then I end up, I dig through the big pile and I'm digging down deep. I'm, like some of the other old ladies that are next to me, they're like, get out of my way. You're fighting and you're going down the bottom. You find the ham, right? You pull it out. You're like, okay, we're not going to eat this much ham, but this is a good size. Okay, this is cool. So it's not too big, it's not too small. You pull it out, you put it, it's another $30-$40 for the damn ham. I'm like, Jesus, after taxes, $100 for a ham and a turkey. Well, I mean, what else do you want? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, excuse me. So finally we go around and you go up and down the aisles and you're buying the stuffing and you're buying the green beans for the green bean casserole and then there's the other good fixings that go along with all the good stuff, right? And I go up to the counter and I'm unloading. The basket is only like a quarter full. Okay. They're even halfway full. And I'm sitting there, put it on the counter, and I'm not cheap. I like to, you know me. I go for the gusto, baby. So I sitting there, I put it up on the counter, and I'm watching and the guy's sitting there at the end. Actually, it was a chick. She's there at the end, and she's just like, okay, she's ringing it, beep beep, beep beep, going through the little scanner, and then the turkey goes by the thing, and it doesn't go beep beep, it goes beep. It's like, wait, what was that all about? Well, that's because the price was so huge that the barcode reader couldn't identify it. It was so expensive, right? So it goes by. The same thing on the ham. It goes by, right? So it's finally at the end. She goes, "Oh, okay. It'll be $350, please."
Wow.
I said, $350 for what? And she goes, "Well, for your fit." I said, is there gold plated shit in there or something? Or did I miss something? Is that a mistake? Can you look at your damn tape again? Bring that thing down. So they have a little screen up there where they can scroll down for you. And and they're scrolling down. Oh, they gave me the discounts. All right. They gave me 5% off of this, 10% off that. And I'm watching. I see the little negatives going by the screen as it's going down. I'm like, holy crap. And I'm making sure that nothing doubled up on that. And I'm waiting for the turkey and ham because they had to have screwed up. No, they didn't screw up. I looked at it really close. And they went by and I said, holy shit. Look at that.
Yeah.
So finally he gets through. I'm on the little keypad. I'm doing my thing, right? And all of a sudden, right at the, how it is on those keypads, right at the end of the keypad, it says, and I'm going to keep in mind, I'm disgusted. I'm not even mad. I'm just disgusted. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, whatever. I don't have the money, but I'm going to do it anyways because it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to take it up the ass. Okay, come on. And right at the end, right there on that little keypad that you put your thing in, you stick your card in there, and it says, "Would you like to donate money to, to whoever it is, right? The people that aren't doing too good."
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God. And you know what? Fuck it. $5. Here you go. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Take take it while you can. And that made me feel good. That made me feel good. I was like, okay, at least I tried to help somebody.
Right.
Nobody's helping me, but let me try to help somebody else. That made me feel good about Thanksgiving. The bird, the ham. So real quick, at the very end, we go home. We get all the stuff done. And you got it cooking and heating up everything, and the turkey's down. We put it to the side. Throw the ham in. It only takes a little while. You're putting it in and pull out the ham. That $1 million ham with the gold dripping off its ass, right? And I pull it out and I put it on the plate and I pull out the big saw and I'm sitting here going, and I'm cutting through it, right? And all of a sudden, guess what? It's not a spiral ham. It's just a big chunk of fucking pork and fat. Just I'm like, I paid $1 million for that butt of ham. It's not even cut, spiraled, for $1 million to buy that thing. The cut stuff that was in the other end of the freezer, that stuff was $1 million. That was just like way out of control money. So, anyways, that's how my Thanksgiving was. I don't know how your Thanksgiving was, but the food was okay. And we had a good time, and that's I'm just grateful that the family got together. Okay, and we sat down, we ate. I'm glad everybody else out there. Hopefully, the same thing was for you guys, was for me, and of course you yourself there, Eric. But how did it go for you? Was it anything close to how mine was, or what?
Well, I'm curious. Are you willing to name names, like what grocery store you went to, or do you not want to go there?
Oh no, I don't want to go there.
You're not going to name names? Okay. Well, mine was different. Mine was different. It was just me and my brother and my mom. I didn't have the kids this year, so that's always tough for me. If I don't have my kids on a holiday, it kind of sucks no matter what. But hey, at least I got my mom, I got my brother, right? So what we did, my mom is like 83 years old now. Okay. So what we did was like, we're not going to make her cook. So I've got a Boston Market very close to my house. I could actually walk there from my house. It's that close. And we do that every once in a while. Like if my mom doesn't want to cook, because I usually go over there every Sunday. If she doesn't want to cook a lot of times, we get Boston Market because it's good home style food, right? And they always do a thing on Thanksgiving. Now, years ago, I went ahead and I actually ordered a meal from Boston Market. Okay. So the idea being, hey, I'm just going to walk up. They told you a time to come. I'm just going to walk up, get my food and leave. No, that's not what happened. Okay. So years ago, what happened was they had two lines, and they had one line in the back and they had a trailer out there. And those were basically meals that you had to cook. Okay. And they were supposedly all ready and all set. They were just going to hand them to you, right? Then they had a line going into the store, and those people were getting hot food. You know what I mean? Those people were just waiting. They didn't make an appointment. They didn't order online, nothing like that. I had to wait something like 2 hours for this already set box of food. You know what I mean? I didn't realize you had to cook it because I didn't read the directions right. You know what I mean? And while I'm sitting there, Rob, and I'm sitting here, right? This, by the way, this is years ago. And so I'm sitting there, and like that line that's going into the restaurant, that one's moving. It's moving. And I see all these people with hot food walking out with a big smile on their face. You know what I mean? All the people that just showed up last minute, you know? And I'm sitting here like, I planned this, you know what I mean? And I had my kids that year, and they were pretty little. And I'm just like, this sucks. You know what I mean? We're just waiting forever. So anyway, it didn't turn out so bad. I took it to my mom's. My mom warmed it up, and we ate it, and it was good. But this year I was like, okay, I'm not even going to try to do that this year. Okay. I'm just going to show up and see what happens, right? I'm not going to try the online thing again because it was a disaster last time. So first of all, they didn't have the big semi in the back this year, okay? It just had one line, and it goes right into the restaurant, right? One line. You get there, you get in line with everybody else, whether they ordered online or not. and you just wait. And they just take in like 5 people at a time. And you go in, and as soon as you get in, you just walk up to the guy, tell him what you want. And probably within 5-10 minutes, you got your food and you leave. Just that simple. And I did the feast for 3. This is Boston Market. Because I'm going to give props, I'm going to give props when they change and they do something right. I'm going to give them props. So it's like it was a feast for 3 is what I got. I got the turkey one. I think they also had. You could also get like a rotisserie chicken. They had rotisserie chicken or turkey. I got. It wasn't a full turkey. It was turkey breast. You know what I mean? It was sliced turkey. It was pre-sliced. But I got the turkey meal. Feast for 3. Came with 3 sides. Got stuffing. Got mashed potatoes, got gravy, got mac and cheese, and then they gave you a pumpkin pie, or you could have an apple pie. I like pumpkin, so I got pumpkin pie. $55 with tax out the door.
Holy
so I'm gonna give Boston Market their props, man. That was nice, affordable.
That's where I'm going.
They said feast for 3. There were 3 of us. We had food left over. I was still eating leftovers the next day.
Yeah.
So it was plenty of food.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. That's a good story. Yeah. I like that. That is a good. I you know what? We might just do that next year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Why not? Save $1 million. Hell yeah. And still you have food left. Yeah, we got food left over too, but not a lot. Not a lot.
Now, my biggest concern was like, I think you froze for a second there. My biggest concern actually was that we wouldn't have enough food, but we did. So it worked because I was like, okay, is their feast for 3 really a feast? It was. I mean, we had plenty of food left over. So
awesome. All right. Well, listen, is there anything else on your mind that we need to?
I'll give the college football update here. So
do it.
We've got Ohio State and Michigan. That is the game today. That's number 2 ranked. That's number 3 ranked in the country. This game has playoff implications. It's got implications all over the place. Michigan is leading 17-13 right now. We've got just about over 5 minutes left in the first half, but Michigan, as of right now, is leading 17-13 against Ohio State. So it's looking good for Michigan right now.
Nice. Oh, don't forget about the soccer. USA.
Oh, that's right. That's about the World Cup, right?
Yeah, hit it if you can see it up there. I don't got it in front of you. I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it real quick. But
yeah, I've got a few. I've got the schedule and I've got some of the other games here. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
The big hit was Iran taking out Venezuela. That was huge. That was a shock around the world right there.
Well, USA is going to be here. We got over here on Tuesday. USA will be taking on Iran. Of course, we got the previous USA scores. They tied Wales 1-1, and they also tied England 0-0. But they're going to be taking on Iran on Tuesday.
Wow. Yeah, you take to some measure that. just get those guys out of the ball game. Yeah, USA, you better pull some stuff out of your butts out there and make sure that happens. All right, cool. Well, I think that's all we got for our beautiful Saturday morning hangover show. So, anyways, it's been fun out there with all you guys and gals out there. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will see you next Saturday morning at 10:30. We're going to say see you later, Mr. Base God 14. Enjoy yourself. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye.